Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of our Standard of Success event. We are so happy to have you here. And what I'd like you to do right now is if you joined us on days 1 and 2, go ahead and put in the chat right now what your biggest takeaway was. And I just have to say that this group has been so fired up in the chat all week long. And I am fired up for you because I know what a difference today's lesson can make in your life and in your success journey. So again, what I really want you all to do is put aside all distractions, close out all your extra browsers, put your phone on silent, and give Arash your undivided attention for the next 90 minutes. Get out a pen and a piece of paper. This is a lesson you're definitely going to want to take notes on. And as always, at the end, we're going to have an assignment for you. So Arash, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on with me. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great, Mikey. How are you?
I am doing great as well. You know, I saw something in the chat yesterday that I wanted to touch on before I hand it over to you for today's lesson. And the question was, what does it mean to think and do things in a certain way?
Yeah, you want to go back to yesterday's lesson because I went over the power of 5. First off, to think in a certain way, you've got to think from your goal. We always don't come to the goal, we come from the goal. So every decision you make it from the person who already achieved that goal. Every discipline comes from the disciplines of you as you achieve that goal. So you've got to work backwards. Most people are working to the goal, and it's a big error. When you're working to the goal, you're separate from it. When you're working from it, you're owning it. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about not just thinking, I told you, you can't just think in a certain way. You have to act in a certain way. So you take actions from that person. What type of action steps do you take? But you don't take them meagerly. You don't take them doubting yourself. You take them with confidence. You take them on offense. You take them on playing to win. Expect with expectation. You're taking them behind the scenes when nobody's seeing you. You're practicing whatever your craft is, whatever you're doing, you're practicing on getting better and better. Now, see, you could look. I want to make this point. I didn't mean to cut you off. There's two people in any business. You could look at one person and look at another. One is really crushing it and the other is struggling. The only difference is one is doing it in a certain way. They're thinking and acting in a certain way. And so what I watch, when clients come to us, when we're working with them in our elite mentorships, they come to me and I get them to really prioritize acting in a certain way. Because without the action, I talked a lot about action yesterday, it's delusion. And so we want to think and act in a certain way.
Arash, I love that so much because we talked about not letting the outside circumstances control you. And you just made such an amazing point of how people can be in the same profession and one can be getting amazing results and the other can be struggling. And a lot of times we'll think, oh, well, they have different circumstances than me, or they got a head start, or whatever it may be, not taking responsibility. But this really goes hand in hand with thinking from the inside out and acting from the inside out and not letting those circumstances control you. Will you just connect the two for us? And then I'll hand it over to you for today's lesson.
Yeah, well, first, if you look at that thought that you were saying, and I can understand it because I used to have it. Okay, so I'm not telling you anything like I'm better than anybody because I had to go through this. That thought comes from victim. Victims always make excuses. Leaders always take responsibility. So the first thing we do when we have a goal is we make a definite decision, and I'll go into defining decisions today, but you make a decision, this is what I'm doing no matter what. And you accept that idea. Now once you make a decision, what happens is your brain flips on a different frequency and your mind is thinking only how can I, not why I can't. But if it's a weak decision, I've talked a lot about it this week. If it's a weak decision, it's not going to flip. If it's a decision when this will happen, it's not going to flip. So what we have to do is we make a definite decision. And that's why I said you have to bet on yourself and you have to have the courage. See, we have so much courage locked up inside of us. It just needs to be released. It just has to be let go. Instead of playing it safe is a dumb idea. It's not just a bad idea, it's a dumb idea. Because the people who play it safe are the ones who are risking everything. The people who go out and bet on themselves and say, I don't know it, I'm walking into the unknown, those are the people who are risking very little.
Absolutely. This is so good, Arash. I'm going to hand it over to you and let you go ahead and share your screen and get into today's lesson. But if you are fired up and ready for today's lesson, go ahead and put yes in the comments. And Arash, it's all yours.
All right, great. Let me just share my screen and we can get going. Okay, I want to start off by going over yesterday. We talked about image, and I want to emphasize again how important your self-image is. Your self-image is your boundary to achievement. And we all have an image of ourselves. Once you change that image and set you up to win, that's when everything on the outside is going to change. And I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to ask yourself, am I set up to win right now? Just for a moment, look at your attitude. Look at the decisions you're making or not making. Look at your expectation. You're going to know right away. Look at your environment. Do you have people who are already ahead of you showing you and giving you the direction? You see, what happens, a lot of people, they don't change their image and they freeze. So they don't do the action because they never altered the vibration. If you don't alter the vibration, you're not going to do the action. The vibration dictates the action, and the vibration dictates what you attract. So remember, your image is your boundary to achievement. Keep working on it. Take the action. See yourself already where you want to be. Now, I love this quote, and I'm going to start with it from Paulo Coelho. He says, one day you will wake up and there won't be any more time to do things you've always wanted. Do it now. We talked about doing it now yesterday, okay? And I'm talking to you individually right now. Are you the person who's always saying, I'm going to start it on Monday? I'm going to do it next. Oh, this doesn't work. And I want you to ask yourself, is it one day or day one? You get to decide. Make it day one every day. Now, what is freedom? It's peace of mind. It's fulfillment, and it's contribution. So let's ask ourselves right now, do I have peace of mind? And then if the answer is no, say why. And you're going to get the answer right away. Am I fulfilled? And if you're not fulfilled, you're not doing what you love. You've got to go do what you love. Life is too short to play it safe and just keep conforming to what's comfortable. I'm telling you, it is wiping away your happiness. You've got to do, we're here to serve. We're here to be fulfilled. Find out what you love and really work at it. And then how am I contributing? Am I waking up thinking, how can I leave everyone better off? Or am I waking up thinking, oh, today's Wednesday. Today, this is what's going to happen. So really ask yourself these questions. Now, I told you this on day one. Success comes down to a few simple choices. You have to decide exactly what you want. Number two, you determine the price you have to pay. And three is you choose if you're willing to pay it. Now, the price of winning is practice and discipline. The price of winning is doing whatever it takes. But I promise you that price is very little compared to how much the price of regret is. Go after what you want. Really get emotionally involved with that. You know, I think Earl Nightingale said it the best. He said, success is not very hard. Find out what you love and dedicate your whole life doing it. That's what I've done for the last 15 years. I didn't have the self-esteem to do it, but I stepped in and bet on myself. And I promise you, if I can do it, you could do it. And I just found what I loved and did it. My mentor and I used to always talk about it. We used to say, this idea has used us, and it's used you, and it's using me, and it's only using us when we implement it. Find what you love, pay the price. I promise you, the reward is going to be greater than you could imagine. Now, today I'm going to talk about decision. I'm going to talk about, I always say one idea changed my life. Now, it started with one. The first idea that changed my life was mentorship. But then, as I was getting mentored, the biggest idea that changed my life was attitude, not letting the outside control me, dictating my discipline of what I put inside. Then I started mastering standard. That was an idea that changed my life. I started understanding wealth. That idea changed my life, but I only worked at one at a time. See, one idea changed my life. And if you were in a room with my mentor and I, when we were talking, I used to say to him, what was the one idea that changed your life? And he said, decision, understanding decision. And he said, I was losing so badly, and I was afraid of everything to make that decision. And he said, once I understood decision, my whole life changed. So you want to really pay close attention to today's lesson. Now, get emotionally involved, accept this idea. Mikey and I were just talking about acceptance of an idea. You can create your own economy. The truth is you already are creating your own economy. Is it the economy you're in love with? Fall in love with the economy you want to create. Fall in love with understanding wealth. Fall in love with understanding money. See, every time something good has happened to you, you've been working in harmony with the laws of your mind and the laws of the universe. And every time you have not, you've been violating the law, and I'm positive you're doing it unconsciously. I'm positive you're doing it sending a double binding message, not even knowing we're sending a double binding message. See, this is why we've got to create this friendship with our silent partner, and that's our subconscious mind. Remember, it will go get you what you give it. Imagine if you were so disciplined that you were giving it exactly what you want, setting yourself up to win. And that's what these 3 days are about. Now, world-class economy, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it today. I'm going to show you exactly how to create a world-class economy. Now, I want you guys to put in the chat, how many of you would love to have a world-class economy for you and your family? I'd love for you to type it in. And, you know, like Mikey and Monica, I want you guys to look at how they're typing it in. I want you to observe it. Are they enthusiastic or is it passive? See, we've got to really own it. And if one person can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm going to show you the exact steps on how to create a world-class economy. I'm going to give everyone a moment right now. Own it right here. Accept that idea right now. And I want exclamation points for you. I want you. And now, if you don't do it, it's not going to impact me. But I'm telling you, how we are playing today is how we play every day. Play it with ownership. Play it with leadership. That's what I want you to do. Go ahead, Mike.
Raj, real quick. I think your screen is paused.
I haven't changed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't changed it. I just left it here.
Okay.
So, all right. So you see it, Mike?
Well, I still see the main slide, standard of success.
Oh, okay. It is paused. Here we go again. Hold on one sec.
Okay.
Okay. Let me share it again and tell me if it unpauses.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about money. And I want you to have a great understanding about this for yourself. Now, what is money? And let's talk about the fears you may have around money. See, if you're taking a long time making a decision, you have fears. You're letting your old program, not the person you want to be, control you. And that's why we've talked a lot about making that irrevocable committed decision. Money is not very hard. It's just a few disciplines compounded over time. Now, the riches you receive, I love this quote by Waddles. He says, the riches you receive will be in exact proportion to the definiteness of your vision. We went a lot into vision on day one, and then yesterday I started with it. The fixity of your purpose, your definite goal, what you want more than anything else. The steadiness of your faith, how that is your greatest attitude, holding that image with your will of this is what I'm doing no matter what, and the depth of your gratitude. Gratitude is the vibration of abundance. You mix all these together, you're going to get exactly what you're putting out. I promise you. But look at this. What if you were so definite and so convicted to your vision. You say, this is what I'm doing. I don't care about the failures. This is what I'm doing. That's the attitude you have to have. The fixity of your purpose, you hold it. I don't care if it takes 2 years, it's worth it. The steadiness of your faith, you hold that faith. You're not letting the outside control you, and you're grateful for the process. The process is when you're building yourself. Now, I love this by Nightingale. He says, most people think they want more money than they really do, and they settle for a lot less than they can earn. Do you want more? Are you committed to what you really want? Are you dropping your standard? See, I want you to bring your standard of living up to your new standard, and everything is going to start coming your way. Most people are doing the opposite. They're dropping their standard down to the economy. They're dropping it down to what's in their bank account. Huge error. You have a mind that can go create anything you want. All you have to do is plant that idea, nourish the idea, and watch it grow. And step out and act. Without acting, it's not going to happen. Now, this is the biggest illusion. Money is an illusion. I will coach people and I'll say, first thing I ask them is, what do you really want? And a lot of people come to us because they want to increase their finances. And then they'll say, I say, what's holding you back? They say money. Money is never holding us back. Money is not the cause, it's the effect. The behaviors are holding them back from earning the money. And I'm always telling people that money is an illusion. You have to understand it, and you have to have a great attitude with it. If you're condemning it or criticizing it, it's gonna grow wings and fly away. And what we have to understand is get our behaviors locked in. Look at our service. And you want to understand money is never the cause. It's always the effect. Now, so we take a look at our results. Let's look at our financial life right now. Let's look at your financial blueprint. What do the results tell you? That will tell you what the relationship is with your behaviors, where your mindset is currently conditioned. And the results always tell the truth. Now, what I don't want you to do is run away from the results. I want you to look at them, but I don't want you to get emotional because those results were from the past. I want you to say, from now on, this is my financial goal. I want to take my income from 100 a year to 100 a month, and I'm committed. And then you start working on your behaviors. What are the behaviors of 100 a month? And consistency is at the top of the list. You cannot create a significant jump financially without being consistent with your processes. But I say this all the time. It takes great courage to earn a lot of money. Why? Because you've got to overcome the old you. You've got to overcome the doubts. You've got to overcome the fears. And once you bet on yourself and say, this is what I'm doing, and you work on your craft, you work on your mindset, you master your image, you master the power of 5, courage is going to be a part of your identity. Now, let's look. We can't talk about money and increasing it without understanding the law of compensation. The law of compensation states we get paid in direct proportion to the service we render, the need for the service, and our ability to render that service. See, once you master the law of compensation, you're going to have, excuse me, I accidentally hit that too fast. You're going to have so much abundance in your life. The law is always working. And if you haven't studied the law of compensation, look it up from Emerson. He wrote the best essay on compensation. You always get paid, not sometimes. So let's go back and look at our results. Our results are telling us what type of service we're rendering. Our ability to render the service and the need for it. Your ability is the key. And I want you to burn this idea in your mind. You must give every person more in value than you receive in cash value. That is the law of compensation. It's not about what I can get. It's about what I can give. And I want you to give 10 times what you're receiving in cash value, and you watch how much your life is going to change in terms of your financial blueprint. Now, when you master the law of compensation, and that's just what you're embodying, that's your identity, that's when big money is coming. That's when big money is coming your way. And I'm talking about you'll be asking yourself, like what Napoleon Hill used to say in Think and Grow Rich and the Laws of Success. The money comes so fast and so furious that you wonder where it was in all those lean years. I promise you, master the law of compensation. Now, let's ask ourselves, do my behaviors scream success? Let's just ask ourselves the question. Is it yes, some do, some don't? You want to really look at your behaviors. Your behaviors are the prequel to what you are going to attract into your life. I promise you, get really good behaviors. Have a really good morning routine. Have a really good evening routine. Have a really lock in on 30, 60, 90-minute sprints throughout your day. Create great behaviors and great focus. Now, selling is a consciousness and it must be earned. What are you selling yourself? What idea are you selling yourself around money? See, a lot of people think, oh, I'm selling my idea, product, or service. No, you're selling you first. You've got to sell yourself on the goal. Like if you didn't wake up today already accepting the goal, you didn't sell you're not sold on the goal. You have not accepted that idea. And you know who I'm talking to if you have or haven't. I'm telling you, if you're just coming here to get the information, it's not going to be much. You're just going to keep gathering it. We have to turn it to application of implementation. The first thing we have to do is sell ourselves on the goal that it is done. We make that decision. It is done. And that's when the process starts. Now, we talked about attitude yesterday. Let's look at this. Money is an attitude. What is your relationship with money? I want you to look at your relationship with money right now. If you don't have a lot of it, if you were like me where you were in reverse, you do not have a good relationship with it. We've got to work on changing that. Number two, do you feel that you deserve it? If you don't feel worthy of it, it's not coming to you. I promise you. You've got to build your worthiness. Get in front of that mirror and say, I am worthy of earning whatever I want to earn. I am worthy of earning 100,000 or more every month. I am worthy of earning 50,000 or more every month. And you look yourself in the eye and you build that worthiness. You look at yourself and you talk to yourself. And as you're doing that, you're building your worthiness. Start writing out what you're grateful for yourself. Say, I'm so grateful for my heart. I'm so grateful for my compassion. I want you to feel it. If you don't feel it, you have scarcity in your heart. If you have scarcity in your heart, it's going to block you from the good that you desire. Now, are my actions, this is a great one. Are my actions and behaviors congruent with a state of abundance? Let's look at your actions yesterday. Let's look at mine yesterday. I can do it for myself. Are they congruent with my goal? Did I do the action of somebody that would have already achieved that? If the answer is no, I'm not working from the goal. So we've got to make sure our actions and our behavior. That's why your hour of doing the inside work is critical to work on your mindset, which is going to create your behaviors, which create your actions, which create your results. Then we look at your beliefs about money always have to be congruent with your financial goal. This is something we want to really work on. I'm telling you. And it's so simple to do. I'm not trying to be arrogant about this. It is so simple. It's the power of 5. It's going in and healing your money wounds. Most people, it's not because they're not worthy of it. They may not think they're worthy of it because of past stories. We got to go in and heal our money wounds. We got to go in and release the scarcity. We got to stop being attached to a situation that happened and say, listen, that was a great learning lesson for me. But we want to understand, master the power of 5. You're going to change your whole attitude towards your beliefs. Now, let's ask ourselves another question since we're talking attitude. Are you circulating money freely? Do you let it go freely? Or when you let it go, are you holding it saying, oh my God, I don't know if there's enough? You want to start circulating it. I don't care if it's $1, circulate $1. It does not matter how much you're circulating. It's how freely you're circulating. The law of life is circulation. If I tied my arm tight, the blood would stop flowing. If I don't have blood flowing throughout my body, I'm not going to be here very long. It's the same thing with money. If you're not circulating, you're hoarding it, you're holding it tightly, we've got to change that. And start circulating, give away clothes, give away things if you don't have the money. But you've got to start practicing circulation. Now, if you want to change your attitude towards money, I did this several years ago when I was not winning. This comes from Dr. Joseph Murphy. And I want you to take a picture of this with your phone. And then I want you to record it. And you listen to it 10 minutes a day on loop. He says, imagine this was your attitude towards money. What do you think would change? I mean, I'm talking about imagine this was already your program. It would change significantly. I like money. I love it. I use it wisely, constructively, and judiciously. Money is constantly circulating in my life. I release it with joy, and it returns to me multiplied in a wonderful way. It is good and very good. Money flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I use it for good only. I am grateful for my good and the riches of my mind. Imagine that this was your identity. What would you create? That's what I want you to do. I remember 16, 17 years ago, I did this and I wrote it and I listened to it over and over again. And now I have a great relationship with money. And money is constantly flowing into my life. I have more sources of income that I even know about. And I'm telling you, I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm telling you that to understand I was losing in a big way. You change your beliefs, watch what'll start showing up in your life. Now, money is a great servant, but a horrible master. Is money owning you? Are you chasing it? You will know what your relationship with it is. Never chase money. You attract it by the person you become. Now, let's look at scarcity. I talked about that because we have to eliminate this. When we have scarcity in our heart is closed. What forms your scarcity? Lack of decision-making, lack of courage, anger, not forgiving yourself or somebody else. That's all filling in scarcity. See, when you open your mind and heart towards your financial goal, you're enabling yourself to receive the good you desire. We've got to open the space for it. Being in the energy of your goal is it's coming to you. That's why we breathe life in our goal. How do we breathe life? By our disciplines, by our actions. But we're not just doing it. We're doing it in a certain way. We're attacking our goals already with the expectation that it is done. And we're so detached from the outcome. That's when you're coming from a full heart. Now, do you have a great relationship with money? Are you comfortable with the idea of money? I want you to become so comfortable with the idea of money in your pocket, the idea of money circulating in your life. See, a lot of people will come to me first. I want to really earn a lot of money. That's what they tell me. Okay. And then I say, well, what's your relationship? Oh, I don't think I can do it. You don't know how bad I'm struggling. And they get really emotionally involved with the opposite idea because they're not comfortable with it. We've got to get comfortable with the idea of money. The only way you get comfortable with it is working on building that spiritual idea of feeling worthy of the good you desire and that for your financials. And that's what I want you to do. Ask yourself, am I comfortable with it? When I ask the question, are you ready to build a world-class economy? I hope it's a resounding yes, because you're going to do so much damn good in the marketplace. You're going to help so many people. You can't earn money without helping. And that's why I want you to get comfortable with this idea. Now, let's look at your programming. Does $1 million a year seem like a lot of money to you? You'll know whether you say it or not. And what I'm asking the question is not from an intellectual, from an emotional standpoint. Like if you've never come close to $1 million, it's a lot of money for you. It used to be a lot of money for me. Now it's very little money for me. Now, what is your attitude towards it? That'll tell us the type of programming we're operating with around money. So I want you to make a decision that you're going to create the most amazing program. See, I promise you, money is not hard to earn, but it's very necessary, and money gives us options that we get to go enjoy more of life. Stop making it such a big deal. Too many people are making a god of money instead of working on you. When you take care of you, money's going to show up in your life. Now, I encourage everyone, go pick up your favorite book around money. Mine are Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich, You Too Can Be Prosperous. These are my three. Go look at the chapters. None of them have anything about money. It's all about you. It's all about your behaviors. It's all about gratitude. It's all about service. It's all about not letting the outside control the inside. That's what it's about. See, you want to really look at this. And I wish I had, you know what? I'm going to read you something. This is from The Science of Getting Rich. I want to read this to you so you could see this for yourself. He said, I have said that an individual gets rich by doing things in a certain way. In order to do so, you must be able to think in a certain way. Your way of doing things is the direct results of the ways you think about things. To do the things in a way you want to do them, you will have to acquire the ability to think in a certain way. This is the first step towards getting rich. To think what you want to think is to think truth regardless of appearances. See, what in that paragraph, was there anything around money? See, it's about you not letting the outside control you. See, it's about acting in a certain way, thinking in a certain way. And that's what I want to get you to understand. So we've got to alter this paradigm. This paradigm is so important to understand. Your paradigm is the primary cause of your results. It is your program. It impacts your ability to earn money. It impacts your effectiveness, your use of time. It impacts your logic. It impacts whether you're using your higher faculties. It impacts your decision making. And it is creating 95% of your day. 95% of all of our day is run by this program. Now, the aware person is saying, listen, these are the programs I want to change. Now they're turning it in their favor, where they're replacing the program. But it has exclusive control over your habitual behaviors. And all of our behaviors are habitual. So we've got to think. What did I just read from Waddles? You have to think in a certain way. You have to think truth regardless of appearances. Truth is my goal. What is my financial goal? That's your truth. And when you do that, everything changes. So your problems are a reflection of your programming. That's all they are. So look at your problem and say, was that created right now? The answer is always no. It was created from the past, that we keep holding on to this story, that we keep creating the past and the future. See, what you want to do is say, this is my problem. I have a bad attitude towards money. I don't think there's enough to go around. Okay, so now what do? You attack that problem with the opposite. Create a great attitude towards money. I gave you a declaration statement on exactly how to do it. Do that for 30 days. Do it for another 30 and another 30. In 90 days, watch what's going to change. Every 30 days, you're going to see your actions are going to be different because you're changing that program. And you don't have to try for the actions. It's the repetition of an idea over and over and over again that changes your action. Now, let's look at this. I want you to look at you. Now, and I want this just to be around money. You have a choice, and you have this power flowing in and through you. And remember, everything thoughts with the thought we accept. We accept or reject right away. And you're saying, listen, I have a money goal. I want to live a life of freedom. I want to increase my income by 10x. Now, you say, I am affirming all day long, and I'm seeing myself with my financial goal. I'm seeing myself earning 100,000 or more every month using my example. And this person is impressing it, impressing it, impressing it. Why are they not getting the results? It's always, not sometimes, it's always because they're sending out a double binding message. Now, what do I mean by that? They're saying they want money, yet they're playing their life scared. So what are they doing? They are operating from a poverty consciousness. They say they want money, but they won't let it go. They say they want money, yet they're focusing on what's missing. They say they want money, but they're constantly beating themselves up and shaming themselves. See, that is called worry, doubt, and fear. So remember what I've said all week. Your subconscious mind creates 96 to 98% of all your results, perceptions, and behaviors, but it always expresses the dominant of two ideas. This person wants to earn $1 million or more a year, and they're doing the studying, they're doing the work, they're doing the morning routine, but the rest of the day they drop. They drop into their old program, which is embedded in worry, doubt, and fear, which alters their vibration in their body, which is the same vibration they've done, so they keep getting the same results over and over again. This is where we've got to get serious about this. We've got to tell ourselves, listen, I know I've got to work on my attitude. I know I've got to work on my discipline of accepting and rejecting ideas. I know what the present results are telling me. I'm losing. Like, look at me. I was losing. I was $150,000 in debt. I had only a few weeks left of money. before my wedding, and I had no job. I mean, I was losing. This is why you have to make a definite decision. You say, I'm going to reprogram myself and rewrite the program. And you say, all I'm going to think about is building the idea of wealth in my mind. That's what I did. I just started using money as a game. And I started spending $10,000 in my mind. Every day I would do this. I would drive by a nice car and I say, I could pay for this. I would sit in an affluent area and I said, and just watch people. And what I was doing is I was silently creating a prosperity consciousness. That's what you have to do. That's the only way you get past the gatekeeper is by neutralizing it. That's your program. That's your analytical mind. It's right between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Well, how do you do it? You do it with emotion. You do it with consistent thinking with great relentless discipline only on what you want. You focus all day long on you are ready. What would the experiences you feel? So now you're not sending a double binding message. You're altering your vibration. Your actions are changing and it dictates what you attract and all your conditions change. This is where the power of 5 comes in again. I'm telling you this. And look, I'll give you guys a story. I have a great client and she's done a lot of things with me this year. And we were talking in July and I could tell she was just checking the box. And I asked her, I said, let me ask you a question. I want you to think of your goal. And she said, sure. And I said, is every decision coming from your goal? She says, no. I said, how about your disciplines? Are your disciplines aligned with your goal? She said, no. I said, your attitude. She said, no. She said, Arash, I get it. Stop. She said, I know what I'm going to do exactly what you tell me. We had a 10-minute conversation. Less than 60 days later, she had a massive result happen for her. Massive. I'm talking massive result, over $40,000 a month in passive income. And her and I were talking, and I said, can I share this story? When I tell you to get into the power of 5, it will change everything when you come from that person. It activates things that we don't even understand because once that idea and those behaviors are congruent and in harmony, if something's not in harmony, you're not going to attract it. That's it. That's why we can never attract what we don't feel we deserve because we're not in harmony with that. See, that's why I want you to understand and master not sending out double binding messages. Say to yourself, every decision I make is going to change my destiny, and I'm only making decisions that are in harmony with my want. Now, look at this. Why do people send a double binding message? Because they create from a place of not having it. Everything is from not having it. You have to create from a place of worthiness. When you get to a point that you already have it and you're not looking for it, you're not looking for the signs will come. You don't need to look for it. You're going to say, oh, this came out of the blue. I always laugh at that. It's never out of the blue. It's your subconscious bringing you what you've given it. That when you get out of the way and detach and pass your gatekeeper by being neutral, by auto-suggesting, by taking action, by building a new identity, by mastering the power of 5, that's the moment the universe will realize you're out of the way, and this is where things are drawn to you effortlessly. You want to remember that. Stop coming from a place of not having it. Now, remember, your mind is a garden, and I want you to filtrate, embed in your mind a positive mental attitude, a great picture of yourself, seeing yourself already where you want to be. Imagine the trips you would take. Imagine how many people you would help. That's what you put into your mind. And remember, whatever you put in your mind, you're going to get back. So do not plant crap in your garden. This is so important. Stop thinking about what you don't want. Stop thinking about what is showing up. Focus only on the controllable. What is the controllable? What you can control. Now, let's go into now abundance thinking versus scarcity thinking. A person with a prosperity consciousness, and I want you to look at this and say, do I have this? Do I have this? A person with a prosperity consciousness demands abundance. That's an expectation. They say, I know I am playing my life to win. They demand it. A person with a prosperity consciousness acts on ideas. They're great decision makers. Are you a great decision maker? A person with a prosperity consciousness always takes responsibility. They're always understanding that they're the only solution they have. Every problem is because of them. They are aware that there's an unlimited supply. They're never thinking lack and limitation. They're never thinking, I wonder if there's enough. They loathe lack and limitation. They cannot be around people who are complaining, who are coming from victimhood, who are always making excuses. They're always circulating money. I told you this earlier, you've got to circulate it. It doesn't matter if it's $1, if it's a penny. So get in the habit of circulating money. Now, let's ask ourselves, am I operating with a scarcity consciousness or a prosperity consciousness? And here's the truth. I want you to look at this hourglass. You're spending the time anyway. Time goes by so quickly. You might as well be great, and you might as well think and act like the wealthy and watch what happens. That's all I did, is I think and I acted before I ever received it. But slowly and gradually over time, and it wasn't a big amount of time. I mean, it happened once I got the right direction. And that's why I say mentorship changed my life. That was the first thing where I followed somebody who performed the results and I did exactly what they told me to do. Well, I started thinking like the wealthy. I promise you, don't keep procrastinating. Create a world-class life now. Abundance is always generated by how you think and feel. Ask yourself, am I thinking and feeling like an A+ performer? Well, if the answer is no, you're not going to get those results. I promise you. Everything happens by exact law. Something good happens to you, you're working in harmony with that law. You're congruent. You're on that frequency. Everything you're not doing it, you're violating the law, either consciously or unconsciously. My guess is unconsciously. And my guess is you have not mastered discipline. See, I always thought when I got this philosophy in my hands, I said, I'm just going to do it exactly the way it's shown. And that's all I wanted to do. Now, I didn't understand it in the beginning. The first 3 years, I didn't have the right mentorship, so I never got the right direction. So all I did was I read all those books. I mean, I went to seminars, but I just kept gathering information. Once I turned it into action, I transferred that information. See, that's what learning is. Learning is you get intellectually involved with the idea. You say, okay, I really like this idea. I love the idea of 100,000 or more every month. Then most people stop right there. They reject it. It's a wish or a hope. They say, let's see what happens. No, that's step one. Step two, you get emotionally involved. You see yourself already with the experience of the person who's earning 100,000 a month. You build the disciplines and say, this is what I'm doing. And then you step out and you act. You take it. I don't care if it's one action step a day. That's attitude, 3 steps. Thoughts, feelings, actions, all in harmony, create the result. And that's what we have to do. And remember this, a consistent state of abundance raises you over any obstacle. You literally lift up. You literally get new ideas. Those out of the blue circumstances are going to come. And as you overcome obstacles and look at them as opportunities, it initiates more abundance in your life. Remember this, wealth is initiated by feeling good. Our job is to feel good. And you can feel good any moment. Any moment you could switch it. Think about something you're grateful for. You'll feel good. And that's what we want to understand. And when we do it, you're going to see it. But money loves speed. Money loves it. It does not like procrastinators. You've got to act. You cannot hesitate. You've got to say, this is what I'm doing. I am making defining decisions and I am going. I am doing it in a calm, confident manner. And I make them within a millisecond. I always tell clients this, within a millisecond, they go, are you serious? I said, yes. I said, literally, you always know if it's going to expand and grow you or if it's going to contract you. How do you know that? Because you know how it feels. And you know because the truth resonates with the essence of who we are. I know you really want to make it happen. I know you're ready to make it happen. Stop doubting yourself. Doubt comes from old conditioning. Now, how do you do it? You constantly are falling in love with the best version of yourself. You're constantly building a bigger idea of yourself. And these are little things compounded over 90 days, over 6 months, over 2 years, are going to make huge differences. And like I said, you're spending the time anyway. Spend it going after what you want. Spend it creating a life of freedom. If one person can do it, anybody can do it. and you can absolutely do it. But we can't talk about earning money without your goal being this big in your mind. It's got to be what you're seeing all day long. Fall in love with your goal. I want that goal to be so important to you. I want your why to be so much stronger than your why nots. Make a list of your whys. And when you do, you're going to get in the spirit of it. When you're in the spirit of it, you'll know. You don't have to wonder. When you're in the spirit of anything, you're in love with the idea. It literally chases you down and you're thinking about it all the time. Think about, how can I get better? What can I do in a bigger, better way? How can I work on a better idea? Now, let's look at this. And I want you to think of your goal. I want you to put it in your mind. I want you to let these lines represent levels of vibration. Okay. Every level of vibration are referred to as frequencies. Every one of these lines. Okay. Now we think on frequencies. Now I want you to look at where you are right now. This is where your results are. And your goal is up here. It's on a much higher frequency. Now our job is to go with my example. If somebody wants to earn 100 a month from 100 a year, they've got to stay on that 100 a month frequency. That's all they have to think about. They imagine themselves, but they have to make a decision. They have to say, nothing happens without a decision. When you make a decision and it's irrevocable, that's when your mind is giving you, constantly telling you how to do it. It's constantly giving you ideas. But if you're making decisions like most people, I'm telling you, decision making is a competitive advantage in your favor if you get really good at it. When you make a decision from your results, I'll do it when my income gets better. I'll do it when I'm ready. You're never going to be ready. You do it now. Everything you do now, if you don't, you're going to always think from the same thoughts, same feelings, same actions. And look, the goal dies away. It literally goes away. See, your mind and thoughts are down here. You cannot attract up here when you're thinking, feeling, and acting down here. This is where you've got to get really disciplined with yourself. And your mind and thoughts must operate on the same frequency. Once again, power of 5. How do they operate on the same frequency? You see it with your imagination. You see the experiences. You smell it with your senses. You're experiencing it already in your mind every day. And you think, feel, and act from that place. This is when you make a committed decision. You said, I'm not screwing around anymore. I'm not letting the old results control me. I am operating from my goal. Everything I do is from my goal. And what you will start doing, it won't even be difficult. You do it for 30 days, you're going to do it for 30 years. Every thought is going to be from the person you want to become when you build that discipline. When you get that standard, when you lift yourself and you convict to your vision and you're committed to it. And when you do that, everything's going to change. And remember, for your goal, want is the only prerequisite to making a decision, should I do it? Now, I have a rule as part of my philosophy. Anything I'm making a decision on, is it going to expand me or contract me? If it's going to expand me, it is a definite yes. If it's going to contract me, it's a definite no. Ask yourself, is it going to grow me or is it going to confine me? Constantly choose you. Constantly choose into growth. And when you do that, that's when you're going to start understanding how to do it. And this is what you've got to understand. Successful people make decisions so quickly. I remember my mentor and I used to talk about this. And he said, Arash, you make a decision right away now. And he said, what do you think was the difference? I said, because you told me that was the game changer. And I started making it right away, even before I was ready. And he said, there's people come to me all the time saying they want this, but they freeze. If you take too long to make a decision, I promise you, if it's over 30 seconds, you lost. You lost. You let the paradigm make the decision. You came from fear. Don't do that. Set yourself up to win. If you look at the people who always stayed locked in on their goal, they held that with their image, and that goal is a healthy obsession. It's a magnificent obsession. They're consistent, and their will is to do it in a relentless attitude. That's what you want to do. Your goal is here. It wants you just as bad as you want it. It is meant for you. Our goals come because they're meant for us to grow into it. Grow into your goal. Have the will and make your will so damn relentless. Be fearless. And that's when you're going to do it. How do you do it? By the power of 5. I've told you this over and over and over again these last 3 days. Start paying very close attention. Practice it and watch what happens. Decision, discipline, standard, image, and attitude. Now, how do you make a defining decision? You bet on yourself. I want you to bet on yourself. Nothing happens until you make a decision and move. I want you to trust yourself. Even when you don't know what's the next step will show up. Bet on yourself. Now look at this. Why do people not make decisions? Why will they not do it? Because of fear. Let's look at fear on a deep way. To me, fear is an effect. It's not the cause. Now let's look at what the cause is. The cause is you say, I want to go to 100,000 or more every month. I want to live a life of freedom, but you made a weak decision. It wasn't irrevocable. And what's going to happen? The goal is going to disappear. But let's look at fear and say, how did it get to the fear? What triggers your fear? It is always doubt. And doubt comes from old conditioning. I want you to understand this. Every time you have doubt, every time a fear comes, say, oh no, that's from my doubt. But my doubt is old conditioning. You quiet that fear. Fear is just feedback of what's going on inside of us. It's the effect. How do you release the doubt? You have to make a definite decision. And then the goal will reappear again. And then you can get back to thinking, feeling, and acting. Without a definite decision, you're coming from the old conditioning and nothing's going to change. Reject all ideas that come from the old conditioning. Everything I want you to do is coming from the goal. Have belief in yourself. You have so much support behind the scenes on an invisible plane that you don't even know. Remember, reject the old conditioning. Talk down to it. Say, oh, no, that's old conditioning. When I'm doubting myself, old conditioning. Don't let it get to the fear where it overwhelms you. See, it's the doubt that overwhelmed you that turned into fear and that you suppress. Do not suppress. Say, nope, I'm aware. That's old conditioning. Break free. Break free of it. You reject it. You make that definite decision, and that's where the goal comes. Now, look at this. I'm going to go even deeper with doubt. See, you have a choice. I told you this. You have that idea, that power flowing in and through you. This is your goal. And we've got to impress the goal on the subjective mind. We do it over and over and over again. We constantly are thinking about it. We're constantly taking action from the goal. Old conditioning is the doubt. The doubt is already part of your program. So fear comes in. And how do we knock that fear out? I want you to see this. Everything has to be in harmony on a conscious, subconscious, and in your body. So how do we get rid of that fear? We start disciplining our thinking. We say no to the doubts. We say yes to ourselves, and we stop allowing the doubt to be the dominant of the two ideas. Well, how do you do it? You say, from now on, I already know where I've been. I already know the results. I am not going to second guess myself. I'm trusting myself. I'm trusting my instinct, and I know my wants come from the essence of who I am. So that doubt is going to be overcome, and it will quiet down so quickly. It will quiet down like within a few seconds, it leaves you. But the only way you can release it is by making that definite decision. Make a definite decision, bet on yourself, step out and do it, and tell your old self, I'm done. I've already done it this way during these years. I am doing it a different way, and that voice will quiet down. And what will happen? The old conditioning will quiet down, and now we can get past the gatekeeper of your analytical mind, and we can start doing the repetition. And the repetition compounded over time is going to alter your vibration, changes your actions, changes your results. That's what happens. I want you to remember, fear is just feedback that you've accepted the doubt. Fear is feedback of what we get to work on. Don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a good thing that you became aware that you were holding all this doubt. What is doubt? Scarcity. Release it. Allow good to come into your life. Make irrevocable committed decision. If it is not irrevocably committed, it is not a decision. It is a wish or a hope. Now look at what Napoleon Hill said. He said, decisions, or the lack of them, are responsible for making or breaking everything you desire in your life. People who have become very proficient at making decisions without being influenced by the opinion of others are the same people whose annual incomes fall into the top income category. I would take a close look at this and pay attention to somebody who was surrounded by hundreds of the most successful people in the world. I mean, I'm talking billionaires. Decisions or lack of them. Make decisions quickly. Trust yourself. If it expands you, do it. Say yes to me. And when you do that, everything changes. Then Hill says procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done the day before yesterday. Make it right away. Trust yourself. Now, look, when you hesitate, you lose. When we hesitate, think of a time you hesitated. You lost an opportunity, or you hesitated and all of a sudden your analytical mind took over. Do not hesitate. Trust your instinct. Now, without taking action, I told you this all day yesterday, it's delusion. Without making definite decisions, without making decisions from your goal, it's delusion. If you are allowing your paradigm to make decisions, you have no chance. You have no chance. I'm telling you this right now. If you're that person who says, I need to sleep on it overnight, no chance. And I bet you I'm hitting some of you with that question. If you keep making decisions the same way you've always made them, then you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten. Just understand that. And it's your life. You could do all you want, or you could learn this and you could implement it and you could stop doubting yourself. You could go to the unknown and say, I am betting on myself. That's a decision. Remember, decisions or lack of them are responsible for making or breaking everything you desire in your life. Lock in on that. Decision-making is a prequel to big money. If you don't make decisions, you have no chance. If you're going to stay in your comfort zone, no chance. If you're not going to come out and let us help you, you have no chance. I'm telling you this right now. Like I had to do it. Everything happens by exact law. Be in harmony with the laws of the universe and how they work. The universe always leaves clues. Be around the right energy. Be around A+ performers. Now, I want to give you a couple opportunities to help you today. You know, at Voss Coaching Co., when we decided to create this company, it was from 15 years of experience of working with thousands and thousands of people that we've had the pleasure to change their life. Now, I will tell you one idea changed my life. And that first idea was mentorship. There's no question about it. When I went to my mentor, he said, well, what is it that you really want? And I said, I want to create a life of freedom. And he said, well, why aren't you doing it? I said, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I said, I've been studying your information, other people's information, but nothing's changed. And he said, I understand that. He said, you haven't gotten the right direction. He said, without proper direction. And he said, I'm going to tell you something that will change your life if you really get it. He said, you've got to surround yourself with people who have performed the results you want to perform and do exactly what they tell you to do. I had never had anybody talk to me that way. And I committed to do exactly what he told me to do. And literally within months, my life changed. Within 3 months, it really changed. By the year, it changed forever. Then I used this idea the rest of my life. You know, I want you to understand, you've got to ask yourself this question. Am I set up to win? Am I really set up to win? Now, mentorship with Voss sets you up for success. I am owning that. I will tell you that we have so many success stories over the last 9 months of doing this, and we want to help you win. And we have a program that you want to get involved in. If you want to have the most complete mentorship, and not just gaining information, but getting into action, learning processes, you want to get in our Quantum Leap coaching program. It's a 6-month coaching program. You're going to have significant hot seat coaching with me, and you're going to have processes built in. But I don't just teach you in the coaching, I get you to act. Acting is where the results happen. That's one opportunity. The second opportunity is we created a world-class coach program. It is not a certification. And Mike, I would love to bring you in because you do this with me on the marketing side. You teach them how to market as well. Why don't you share with everybody what differentiates our world-class coach program from anything in the industry?
You know, there's so many programs in the industry, and we know this because we've been in the industry for 15 years now, where they certify people to teach information. But this is the only program that I know of that is truly a coaching program for coaches that teaches them to embody a new self-image, that they build an identity as a world-class coach. Plus, they realize how to build a world-class business, how to run a world-class coaching business, how to service their clients and build their programs, how to market their programs. So it is just an all-encompassing 20-week coaching program for coaches. And it's something that when we first started Voss Coaching Co., we were super passionate about starting, because we know how many people are passionate about teaching this information and go get certified, and then they're stuck and they could be an amazing coach, but they don't know how to build the business and they don't know how to make a living as a coach.
You know what's so interesting? At our last event we did it, I don't know, 5-6 weeks ago. And I had a client who got into our world-class coach program. And he had done certification after certification, but no results, literally no. He said within the first 2 modules, within the first 4 weeks of doing it, he got 5 clients. And that's what happens. And I said, well, what do you charge? And he said, well, I charge what you recommended, the 10,000. I said, so you got 50,000 within a month. And I said, what have you done in the last year? He said, I never even did that combined. And I said, what was the difference? He said, you got me to understand how to build the foundation first in the first month. See, coaching, you have to understand there's so many great coaches out there who are earning no money. Why are they not earning money? It's because they don't have the proper direction. They don't have good presentation. They're not transferring their genius. They're holding it inside. And that's what we teach you. So if anybody wants to really create a coaching business and get in a multi-billion-dollar industry, it's Mike, what is it, 37 billion right now?
Yep. And increasing every single day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this will change the game. I will tell you, you want to learn. There's 2 opportunities to work closely with us. And you want to really dig deep. You want to get that right direction, because it's going to change everything. All right, Mike, do you have anything else you want to say?
You know, Raj, I have a quick video I could share if you stop sharing your screen about the World Class Coach program.
Okay, sure.
And I'm going to share it real quick. I love this video. Hang tight with us because we still have a little bit more content for you guys today. All right, it's 2 minutes long. Here goes.
Hello, this is Arash Vossoughi with Voss Coaching Co. If you look at the best ways to earn money, you want to look at what the law of compensation states. It says you get paid in direct proportion to the service you render, the need for it, and your ability to do it. In the personal development industry, there's both 2 forms of income. There's psychic income and there's material income. The psychic income is absolutely through the roof in fulfillment. Now, the industry itself is over 43 billion. And have you ever wondered why there's so many incredible coaches out there that are not making any money? Perhaps you're a coach that has a ton of desire, but your results have been mediocre. Now, here's the deal. There's a lot of certification programs out there, and what I found in the 15 years of working in the industry as a world-class coach and taking myself from failure to success in coaching is what it takes to become a world-class coach and create the results that back it up. Now, that gap I'm committed to filling with my new world-class coaching program that is not a certification. It's a 16-week, in-depth, take-you-by-the-hand coaching program that is designed for coaches to really create a world-class business. Now, for 14 years, I've been creating multiple 7-figure results in the industry with hundreds of client testimonials and transformations. And I want to share everything that I've learned that can help you springboard into this amazing industry. By 2030, it is estimated that the personal development and coaching industry is going to be over 67 billion. The whole purpose of it, the world needs more coaches. The ability to develop a significant coaching business is going to be to understand your ability to sell yourself, to express your ideas, and to learn a system that is going to show your clients exactly what to do and how to do it.
I think that describes the program pretty well. And I will say, though, we said 16 weeks in the video, and since that video was recorded, we have added 4 modules to the program. It's now 20 modules.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike. You know, I'll tell everybody, like, for me personally, and then I'll get back into the training. I always think about like, how did I change my life significantly? I got mentorship, and I didn't just get any mentorship. I got people who really care. Coaching is such a heartfelt business. You've got to love helping people. And I got in the spirit of the ideas coming and following my mentor, and came from my mentor's programming, came from his experience. And that's what you want to do. You want to come from my experience. What we're really good at is showing people how to get results. And we have a great track record to prove it. But let me get back into the slides, because I want to really work on a couple more ideas. Thanks so much, Mike, for joining me. All right. Now, what type of environment are you in? Are you in a world-class environment? And we want to really be surrounded by the right mentors, by the right mastermind partners, by the right people who are going the same direction you're going. Environment is so important. You become who you hang out with. Imagine you were in an environment getting direction from my team and myself. Watch what will happen. Put yourself in great environments. I promise you, you will change the way you act, you think, and your beingness. Don't stay in an environment of toxicity. Don't stay in an environment of people with bad attitudes. Go and stretch and put yourself in a great environment. See, more is lost by indecision than wrong decision. And what happens is from a young age, we've been programmed to live from the outside in. We've been programmed to say, oh, I'll do this when this happens. It's the wrong programming. That's why there is a significant difference in results between the top 3%, the top 1%, and the 97%. I'm telling you, make decisions. Watch what'll start happening. It's over and over. It's constantly in our mind. But you've got to remember, you came to this training because there was an idea that you wanted for your life. There is a want. The want always starts from your subconscious mind. And I want you to accept it with your imagination. I want you to say, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. I am betting on myself. I got this idea not out of the blue. And then you impress it and you turn it back over to your subconscious mind, and you build it into a desire through repetition of doing it over and over and over again. When you accept that idea with a committed decision, you say, this is what I'm doing. I am going from 100 a year to 100 a month, and I love it. And you turn that into a desire. Once it's a desire, it doesn't just alter your vibration. What happens, the desire is not just in your subconscious mind, it's in universal subconscious mind. And the whole universe conspires by law to bring everything necessary for the fulfillment of your desires. And then obviously it alters your vibration, which will change your conditions, circumstances, and results. See, you want something big. You've got to trust yourself. Come, let us help you create it. Now, when you look at this, I love what Mark Zuckerberg says here. He says the biggest risk is not taking any risk. We talked about that earlier today. In a world that is changing so rapidly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. Bet on yourself. Bet on Voss Coaching, and let us help you. Now, hold to the vision of what you want and act now. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Get that idea in your mind. And when you do it, everything's going to change. I'm telling you right here, you have to make a committed decision. You've got to get rid of the paradigm. You say, this is what I'm doing without making a committed decision. Your brain cannot flip onto the frequency of what you want. Make a committed decision, knock that wall down, and go create an amazing life for yourself. That's what I want you to do. And when you do it, you're going to think and act from the person you want to be. It'll naturally happen. Winning is the best motivator. When you make winning part of your behavior, you make it your identity, that expectation, that doing it in a certain way, it's game over. It is absolute game over. Winning is who you are. You were born to win. You were born to create an amazing life. Go bet on yourself and go do it. And you'll always know, if you're serious about changing your life, you'll find a way. If you're not serious, if it's a wish or a hope, you'll find an excuse. I believe in you. Believe in my belief. And you say, well, you may not even know me. I know behaviors. You know what I do know? I know you have the same potential. I know if I can do it, you could do it. If Mikey can do it, you could do it. If Monica can do it, you could do it. If one person can do it, anybody can do it. Stop looking at excuses and choose into your life. Act now. There's never any time but now, and there will never be any time but now. Anyway, I want you to understand, my last thing for you is you are on your way to financial freedom. You are on your way to living a standard of success. Bet on yourself. And it has been my absolute honor to be with you guys these last 3 days. I want to thank you so much. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to turn it over to my dear friend, Monica DeMarin. But before I do, I really want to help you. I want you to hear that. I want to help you if you want the help. I can't do it if you don't want the help. I can't do it if you're scared. Scared isn't the problem, but you've got to be scared and willing. And I highly recommend you listen to exactly what Monica tells you. Get on a call with one of my coaches. That call has the opportunity to change your life. If you don't, that's your choice. That is your choice. There's no pushiness from us. There's no judgment. But I will tell you, if you want to win, you've got to surround yourself with the formula that we have, because we will teach you exactly what to do. All right, Mon, I'm going to turn it over to you. And I want to thank everybody. It's been my honor to be with you this week. And Mon, I'm going to turn it over to you now.
All right, Arash, thanks so much. I love how Arash went right from the beginning of understanding how money worked. This is one of my obstacles when I first started 8 years ago. I did not understand how money worked. However, I wanted to earn more income. I wanted to feel worthy and deserving of money. If you think money is getting in the way from you achieving your goals, investing in yourself, or starting your business, that is an error in your thinking. Money is not a problem. There's an abundance of money out there, but it's our relationship to money is what we have to heal. So I can't press that point enough with you guys. I want to go deeper into what mentorship meant for me as well. Having the right mentorship is going to set you up for success. Boss's mentorship will set you up for success. That couldn't be more accurate. Arash said today, winners take the risks. They have the courage and they have the guts to go into the unknown and become a master at your thinking. This one idea is so, so important to understand. I have never had anyone talk to me like Arash has talked to me. I was seeking growth. I wanted to get stronger. All of you guys listening here, I know you guys want the same. You want to create results. You want to get mentally tough. You want to become bulletproof where you can blaze your trail. That's what he showed me. He showed me exactly what to do, how to do it. He gave me specific action steps. That's how I was able to knock out one goal after another over the years. So mentorship for me has taught me how to study properly, how to study this material, but also study myself properly, understanding my blind spots, how to implement new ideas. He taught me how money worked, which is so interesting now because I'm so detached from money and it just keeps flowing to me. So once you understand that, you'll see for yourself how easily this works. Money loves speed. What I would do when he's still constantly mentoring me, of course, but I would implement his ideas right away. I would go and run with them immediately because they worked. Every time I did it, I kept growing and I kept getting amazing results. We talked about yesterday and today, fusing with your goal and becoming one with your goal. When you're in an amazing environment, this means having the right people in your corner by your side. Fusing with your goal becomes so easy. You're learning from the best to become the best. So it's so contagious. Being in that right environment made such a huge difference for me. And I see it all the time with our clients. The moment they make the decision, invest in one of our programs, it's like this anchor is lifted off their back and they're at peace of mind because they know they're just stepping right into their greatest power. They're able to fully go for their goals and really become the best versions of themselves. Their focus gets sharper. They're gaining awareness and understanding of how all of this works. And I want to tell you a story about one of our clients that I spoke to recently. At our last event, she was really nervous to get on the phone with myself. And she did this several times. She would think about booking an appointment and then she would turn away and do something else. So she was constantly being distracted. Her old programming was telling her not to do this and not do the things she needed to do. And she came to multiple of our events, our Voss events here, and she always hesitated to do that call. And this is how strong the fear can be controlling you if you don't overcome it. She got on the call with me last month after our last event. She was on day 3, just like you guys, and where you are today. And she explained to me what was going on for her with several months of this. And I pointed out behaviors and certain blind spots that she could not see on her own. And I told her, this is the exact same reason why you're not winning at life. It's back and forth constantly. And she had that light bulb moment, and she invested in mentorship. Now, a month later, she's already doubled her income. So like Arash says, we have countless testimonials every day pouring in that our clients' results they're experiencing amazing results and really living the best versions of themselves. So she said to me, can you imagine if I didn't get on the phone? Can you imagine if you didn't call me out on my blind spots? I would still be where I'm at. So looking back, that was the same with me. Okay. If you're doing this, many years ago, I was hesitant. I would keep freezing. But when I made that decision, my whole life changed. If you're doing this right now, whether it's booking a call with one of us, our coaches, starting your own business, push past those fears, push past those doubts. Do not let money get in the way from living a life that you absolutely want to live. If you ask anyone, and I know some of you guys are here on this event, if you ask anyone who's booked a call with myself, I can guarantee you, they will say it was such a great call to be on, regardless of if you do a program or not. Like Arash said, there's no pressure, but we will offer you something because that's the way we can help you. That's how Arash was able to help me. I'm going to give you an absolute call. Our coaches will that we have. Our knowledge is coming right from Arash to me directly to you. And we're going to be focused on you. We're going to show you what you need to do based on solutions so you guys can win. We'll help you with your blind spots, and we're going to give you exact direction, and we can show you how to strengthen your gifts. So this is a call that one idea can really shift you, and being bold, being courageous at making great decisions. This is part of your decision making. Go after those extraordinary goals. Once you make a decision, you will attract what you need. And the timing is always right when you hear the opportunity. Do not let this opportunity pass if it's really resonating with you and you really want to get that direction. When I think back, I was watching Arash and I was coming back thinking when I first started. This is 8 years ago. It's going to be my anniversary next month, actually. 8 years working directly with Arash. But when I think back, my image was so far from the person who I want to become. So I knew I needed guidance. I knew I needed Arash's mentorship. The moment I heard his voice, not only I knew I needed it, but I wanted it. And still to this day, I will always have mentorship for the rest of my days here on earth because it is priceless. So I took the responsibility. My client that I was telling you about, she took the responsibility. I drew the line in the sand, and I didn't have the money to spend, but I found it. And I wanted it more than I feared it. And what I've gained is undescribable. Everything fell in place for me. When I said enough is enough, I have to go after this, because if not now, when? I didn't want another day, a week, a month, or a year to go by feeling the same way I was feeling and keep creating the same results. I wanted a quantum shift. So Arash, I know, always has and had my best interest at heart. He will do the same for you in his mentorship. Our entire team of coaches, we're so invested in our clients' results to help them achieve their goals. But you must do your part just like I did. I showed up. I put the effort in. I followed the process, how it was designed. If you do that, I'm going to tell you, you will win. And if you're sitting there with emotions of desire and excitement, just come from knowing, you know, your life's about to change for the better. And that's a pretty special feeling to have. And if you're getting limiting thoughts come in, or your old conditioning come in saying you can't do this, it's such a joke. It's not real. You have to really understand that when it comes up, just laugh at it, and it's just testing you. It wants to test you to see how badly you want this. So Arash today went through different ways on how to work with us. And if you book a call with myself or one of our coaches, we will go deeper into the exact program that's going to be perfect for you, that will change everything for you. So here at Voss, we take such great pride in our clients that they're experiencing such great success in such a short period of time. When you work with Voss, you're in great hands. You will be with the most trusted directional leader on mindset out there. I can assure you of that. So we have a bonus offer that I'm so happy to share with you. I'm so excited because I've been on these before, and they're dynamic hot seat coaching. So it's for any of you guys who invest in one of our elite programs, you will receive 4 hot seat coaching sessions with Arash. Now, these sessions are so powerful, you will literally experience an emotional jolt right away. These are the calls that literally shift you. And Arash can see you, you can see Arash. So you're going to be able to talk to him and ask him specific questions. He's going to give you exact direction. These are the calls that will take you to the next level. He's going to pick up your blind spots that you can't see on your own, like he did with me. Arash will teach you how to think, and we will teach you how to take that right direction. You do not want to lose out on this opportunity. Trust me, these are the calls that shift you. So that's for anyone who enrolls in one of our elite programs. You will receive the bonus offer of 4 dynamic hot seat coaching sessions. So let's get down to the assignment today. The assignment today is, the first step is, we want you to make an irrevocable, committed decision with action that's going to get you closer to your world-class life. What is that committed decision with action that you're going to take? Get clear on that. And the second part of this is we are going to post it in the group. A lot of you guys are already listening to our podcast, but listen to episode 14 on decision. It's about 25 minutes long. Post your decision in the live a life of freedom with Arash. Post it in the group here, what decision you made and what was your biggest takeaway with the episode. I also want to thank everyone here this entire week for joining us. It was such a pleasure to learn myself and watch you guys all be so committed and have such fun along with us. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. And Mikey, I'm going to hand it right back to you.
Thank you so much, Monica, and thank you for giving us an amazing assignment and going over the incredible bonus, which I just have to add a little bit more to, because Arash talked about how winners make decisions within 30 seconds, and we're going to give you guys a little bit more than 30 seconds, but to get the bonus offer, you do need to take a step forward and get into one of our elite coaching programs by the time the recordings from this week come down, which is next Monday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So if you get on a call with one of our coaches and get enrolled into one of our elite programs by Monday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, you're going to get those 4 bonus hot seat coaching calls with Arash, which are so incredibly powerful, like Monica described. We'll be on a Zoom call together. You'll have your video on, Arash will have his video on, and we'll be spotlighting you with Arash. So just the way at the very beginning of the call, I went back and forth with Arash and we were on the same screen, it'll be just like that. You'll also get the added benefit of hearing other people go back and forth with Arash and watching them reverse engineer ideas and ask questions. So very, very impactful calls. And we hope to see so many of your faces on those calls in the very near future. Now, the replay from days 1, 2, and 3 will be available until Monday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And I want to keep saying that because I want to make sure that you guys take advantage of those replays. If you missed days 1 or 2, or if you just want to go back and rewatch some things, I know there was some questions about what is the Power 5, and thank you, Wendell, for noting that Arash did go over the Power 5 yesterday at the 50-minute mark. So if you want to go back and watch that, you've got a few days to go back and watch whatever on his lessons before we take them down. Get into the homework right away. I'm going to go ahead and post the homework image and a link to episode 14 on the podcast, which is all about becoming an effective decision maker, in the group as soon as we end. And I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us this week. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself, and thank you for trusting Voss Coaching Co. and Arash with your mentorship. We are so thrilled to be working with each one of you and hope to be working with you in an elite program soon. All right, I'm sure we'll have some more surprises for you throughout the week, but for now, we'll see you soon.